What happens when a search for meaning turns into a way to study people, power, and relationships? When curiosity grows into a system that maps how societies think, behave, and change? Welcome to the social science, the field born from questions built to understand the world we live in. Now, what is social science? In simpler terms, it's a study of how people think, interact, build communities, and make decisions. Basically, how society works. But where did it all begin?
We begin in ancient Greece, or 4th century before Christ era, where philosophers like Plato and Aristotle laid the intellectual foundations for social thought. Plato promoted idealism and justice, envisioning a harmonious society governed by philosopher kings. Aristotle emphasized empiricism and virtue ethics, believing that knowledge stems from observation and logic. Together, they created the philosophical groundwork for ethics, governance, and civic life.
In the Middle Ages, 5th to 15th century, religious institutions dominated intellectual life. Thomas Aquinas introduced natural law, combining faith and reason to explain moral order. His teachings highlighted how divine principles and rational thinking could guide society. During this era, the Church shaped both governance and explanations for human behavior.
The 16th century witnessed the scientific revolution, a dramatic shift towards observation and evidence. Thinkers like René Descartes and Isaac Newton emphasized rationalism and empirical methods, laying the foundation for scientific inquiry. Their focus on reason challenged dogma and inspired new ways of investigating society.
In the 17th century, Thomas Hobbes proposed the social contract theory, arguing that individuals surrender certain freedoms to a strong authority to maintain peace. Then, in the 18th century, John Locke emphasizes natural rights, life, liberty, and property, while Montesquieu introduced separation of powers, structuring political institutions to prevent tyranny. These Enlightenment ideas sparkled democratic revolutions and brought philosophy closer to social reality.
The 19th century marked the formal rise of modern social science. Karl Marx critiqued industrial capitalism through conflict theory, highlighting class struggles and systemic inequality. Emily Durkheim, in contrast, offered structural functionalism, viewing society as a web of institutions working together to maintain social order.
Also in the late 19th century, Max Weber contributed the social action theory, analyzing how individuals assign meaning to their actions. He explored the rationality, authority, and the rise of bureaucracies, bridging the gap between personal behavior and institutional structure.
Entering the 20th century,
George Herbert Mead introduced symbolic interactionism, showing how meaning and identity emerge through communication. Michel Foucault revolutionized thinking with post-structuralism, revealing how norms, institutions, and language act as tools of power and control.
Finally, the 21st century brings us to contemporary voices. Feminist theorists and intersectionality scholars examine how gender, race, class, and identity intersect to shape lived experience. These frameworks challenge exclusion, highlight inequality, and push social science to become more inclusive and transformative.
Centuries of ideas, a timeline built from observation, rebellion, and reform. Social science didn't just explain the world, it changed how we live in it. And now, you're part of the next chapter.